Hey, so I'm Tammy Smith, and this is my new show, Tammy Tell Me True. It's a show about weight loss, and you're probably thinking, what does this fat chick know about losing weight? I know I'm fat, and that is the point. This is going to be a show that takes you from the beginning of my weight loss journey. I'm actually going to be having bariatric surgery in a few months, and it's going to take you from the beginning to the end and all the way through, basically, for the rest of my life. Because it is a life change. It's going to be something that's going to be ingrained in me. And I thought it'd be really cool to take you along with me. Okay, so first let me tell you a little bit about myself and my history and why I'm here in the first place. So basically, I've always been bigger. I've always been heavier, thicker, big boned. I've always been one of those type of women. And I was for most of my adult life. And then especially in 2001, after 9/11, my father passed away. I gained a bunch of weight, even more so after that. And I had this moment of a rude awakening at that time when I had a party. I bought a house, and a friend sent me photos of me at the party. And I opened the envelope because photos were mailed to you back in those days. And it was a shock. It was a shock to see myself. 3 days later, I joined Weight Watchers, and I became this amazing, badass Weight Watchers chick. I was in the zone. I lived alone at the time. I was single, and I just did it. And it was great. And I loved it, and I embraced it, and it was fantastic. And so I kept the weight off for a few years. Then I met my husband, and basically, over the years, I've gained weight. And so now I gained all of the weight back and then some. And they talk about that, and that is just what they say can happen. And I cannot believe that it happened to me because I was so good at it. And I never in a million years thought I'd be back here. And so over the course of the last couple of years, I'm in the film industry. It's just so hard to lose weight, and it's just become something that is a constant battle for me. And I've thought about it very, very carefully, and I've decided to have bariatric surgery. So I found out that it is covered, and it was basically such a silver lining, especially during this pandemic. And I started back in July with the process of going straight to the doctor that I basically reached out to last year, only to find that I wasn't covered. And I've started the process. So I've gotten all of my clearances except for one. I'm waiting for my pulmonary clearance, and that's because they discovered that I was a little low on oxygen, and I'm on a CPAP machine now, which is a whole experience. I don't have major sleep apnea. It was mild, but it was my oxygen level that was a concern. So now I basically will be having the surgery hopefully mid to late November. And I'm going to take you with me from the beginning to the end. So I thought it was a really good idea if I share this experience because it's something that I need to embrace. It's something that I'm going to submerge myself into 1000%. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of confusion out there. I've been going to support groups ahead of time, a few of them online, and there's a lot of people that just don't know some of the products that they can be using or taking advantage of. And the number one reason why I wanted to do this show is that it's about food for me. The reason I'm here is because I love food, obviously. And the idea of how food is going to change in my life is scary. It's exciting at the same time, but it's something that's always central to my day. And I want to basically change how I cook, change how I eat, but in all of the good ways. And I have a lot of the good things that I was doing when I was doing Weight Watchers. And so I can share from the beginning because leading up to the surgery, I have to get healthier. In order to do so, I need to be eating light. I need to be eating healthier whole grains and more vegetables and most importantly, good proteins. And I have a lot I can share with you because I'm a really good cook. I always have been. I had to change how I cook, and I'm going to do different dishes for you, bariatric dishes, Weight Watchers dishes, things that people share with me. So I saw this as an opportunity that I can completely share what I'm doing and help people and help others and inspire others, motivate others, Even if bariatric surgery isn't the answer for you, I'm going to be going over all kinds of recipes. This could be something you might want to watch because you just want to shed some pounds and you need some ideas. People get bored. I get bored. I get tired of cooking the same things myself. So here we go. Okay, so for the first segment of the show, we're going to talk about products. So in the future, we're going to be talking about specific products, and I'm going to do some taste testing, and I'm basically going to be your guinea pig and go out and try different products, because when you decide to do bariatric surgery, there's a lot of different things you have to incorporate into your diet in the beginning and to get you through after the surgery. And so I want to go over a few things with you, but the main thing I want to talk about today to get everything started is I want to talk about sugar. So I have a problem with sugar. I love sweet things. I love anything sweet, candy, cookies, all of that stuff, right? So the big chore for me right away was to get my sugar intake like down and out of my life. So the other part of it is that when you first start getting ready for bariatric surgery, you're going to nutrition classes, and the number one thing they start talking about is protein. And in order for you to get protein into your system when you're drinking liquids, of course, are protein shakes and protein drinks. So I have been, for the last couple of months, just exploring all of the different products that are out there, mainly because, for two reasons. One is for taste, because I'm not gonna lie, I wanna know what's ahead of me, because you're going to be drinking these things and it's going to be what you're going to be drinking for a while. The number one reason that I've been buying all of this stuff is because I want to know what tastes good, because the thing that scares me the most is, you're going to be drinking these things, and if they taste like ass, I'm going to be really miserable. And so I've been buying different products to try them. Am I allowed to say ass? This is not censored, or maybe you'll bleep me. Okay. Booty. If it tastes like booty, I'm not going to want to drink it. So I'm going to go over different products in the future, but today I want to talk about artificial sweetener. So one of the ways I got here partly is that after I lost all the weight, I got into, when you're on Weight Watchers or when you're on a certain diet program, a lot of them, there's sugar-free things and low-fat things and diet things that are full of chemicals, artificial sweeteners, and I really didn't want to put that stuff in my body, and I still don't, and I'm going to have to for a little bit, okay? And I'm talking about like Splenda, Sucralose, and the toxic ones. There are really good alternatives out there now. There's of course stevia, which I've gotten used to now, but there's even other stuff like monk fruit sweetener, and I think it's called Yacon. I'm gonna look that one up. We'll talk about that one another show. So it's something that has been wreaking havoc on my body. There are ones with sucralose. There's not many with aspartame anymore. Companies are really staying away from that. But one of the things that has been happening, and even some of the vitamins that we have to take, which will be another time, we'll talk about that, is xylitol. All of the alcohol-based sugar substitutes or the chemical ones like sucralose wreak havoc on your stomach. And the way that they wreak havoc on your stomach is you end up in the bathroom quite a lot, and it's really unpleasant. And I didn't know that this was a thing because I don't drink those. I don't take those sweeteners. It's not in my world. So I have been really trying to find all of these different products so that I know what's best, because there's going to come a point in time when post-op where I don't really have to rely on those things down the line, but for now I have to have the protein and you can't have the sugar. So you have to have stuff that's tasty, but you have to basically pick your battles, if you know what I mean. So eventually we're going to be talking about some of these products, and that's what we're going to have a segment about. And it's going to be really fun, and I'm going to be your guinea pig, because I will taste things and put it out there for you so that you know what some of the better things are and what the pricier things are, some things that are more affordable, because a lot of times things will cost more money the better that they are, of course. And my nutritionist made a very good point. And that is, you're not spending money on food. So you should spend money on yourself. And I know everyone has a different budget though. So I feel like I just want to go over some stuff with people, because you might not know. I'm happy to spend the money and get, some of the products so that we can try them and then tell you about them. Basically, I'm here to help and to maybe alleviate some of the worry because it's kind of worrisome. It was worrisome to me. That's why I have my little bodega of products here just to open up the show. Okay, so let's talk about bariatric surgery and why that is the answer. It was something like I mentioned earlier on in the show that it took a while for me to come to terms with it. But the best person to talk about this with is my friend Jody. I've known her for about 32 years. We went to college together. After college, we went our own separate ways. And then, of course, about 11, 12 years ago, when Facebook was a thing or starting to become, really, really popular, we became friends again on Facebook. And it's like you pick up right where you left off. And she was the first person that I knew that had bariatric surgery. She had it, I think it was about 4 years ago, but she's going to tell us herself. So let's talk to her. Here we go. We're going to get her on the face. Bubala, gorgeous. Hello, my love. We're going to turn the volume up here for just a there we go. Technical difficulties on our first show. Who knew? So I've told everyone who you are. Oh, I love that motto behind you. Look, you look glowing. You're glowing today.
Okay. Well, thank you.
So Jody, it is. Yeah. So listen, I want you to tell everyone what the very first thing was that you said to me. So the day I found out that that bariatric surgery was covered by insurance, I sped dialed the doctor because I had already met with them last year, remember? And then found that it wasn't covered and I was whatever. So then the day I found out, I remember I was on my way to the grocery store and I called you. And what's the very first thing that you said to me?
Well, first I said, oh my God, I'm so excited for you. And then I said, but remember that it's an awesome tool, but they're gonna cut up your stomach, but not your brain.
Right. Right.
Right. They're gonna change your insides, but not your head.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, and that really resonated with me like immediately because, and that it's funny because it's a tool and that's the number one thing that they teach us when we first are, having our nutrition classes. And, there's a stigma tied in with bariatric surgery because everyone thinks that it's just, it just fixes you.
It's an easy little thing.
Right. It's like the opposite of that. So, I wanted to have you talk about like, why did you choose bariatric surgery? Like what brought you to that?
I gained a decent amount of weight after my second kid. And it got to the point where, and I learned as I was going through the process of bariatric surgery that like once you hit a certain tipping point, there's almost no turning back.
Yeah.
The number of calories you need to lose weight is like so low that it's not sustainable. But like I didn't know that at the time, so I went through this vicious cycle of doing every kind of crazy diet and like really like punishing my body, like doing crazy things at the gym, and I was so overweight. But in my head, I remember going and learning about the different bariatric surgeries, and at the time the lap band was like a big thing.
Right.
And I remember speaking to a psychologist to get clear for the lap band and him thinking, how are you going to feel when you're thin? And I'm thinking to myself, in my head, I'm still thin. Like I didn't.
Right.
I didn't want to cut apart my body because I didn't think I was like fat enough to do it. So I chose the lap band.
Right.
And it was disastrous. I had it. It was really bad.
Yeah.
I had very, very negative reaction. And I had a good friend who also had an issue with the lap band, and she had a revision to the sleeve at the time. And she kind of like, I mean, I couldn't even eat ice cream. Like I shouldn't be, but I couldn't have yogurt. I couldn't have nothing went down. I was having a really tough time. So I was eating like crackers and cookies because it was the only thing I could get down. So anyway, my friend convinced me to go speak to my doctor. And when I went, he said, he goes, you really should get the lap band out. And we recommend another surgery. And after a lot of exploration, they had decided that the gastric bypass would be the best surgery for me.
Right. The sleeve was available when you started then.
It was, and at first I wanted the sleeve because once again, like the whole, I don't know, for some reason the sleeve seemed less scary to me.
Right. It's true.
But,
It's true. It does.
Yeah, but everybody's different. I have esophagus issues, if I can share that with you.
Right.
And the sleeve just wouldn't work for me after I had did extensive testing before. My doctor wanted to make sure whatever surgery we did next would be the right one. And
Right.
so that's how I ended up doing it. And I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, and I mean, same with me. Like I have that really bad acid reflux. So the minute I met with the doctor and I told him that, I already knew like the sleeve was out of the question because the gastric sleeve basically like exacerbates. Ooh, I used a very fancy word. It exacerbates the acid reflux. It makes it or it can create it when you didn't even have it. So it's such a life-changing thing to do. And are you? I mean, this is such a big question. You don't have any regrets, right?
I had real fears.
Yeah,
and
me
some
too.
of the fears are like sort of playing out in a very minor way and are certainly not as bad as I thought they'd be.
Yeah.
So, but I really have no regrets. I mean, it was honestly the most incredible decision.
I'm so grateful to have you and my friend Estelle, who you'll all meet eventually. But like, I'm so grateful to have both of you. It's such a huge. Even my nutritionist is so thrilled because to have mentors like you and Estelle, it's making such a huge difference. Like I feel like I have this, like a built-in support group on top of the other support.
I have to tell you, I feel like you're inspiring me because like, I feel like through the whole lockdown, like we're in New Jersey, so we've been locked down for a really long time.
Oh my God,
we're starting to open up, and like Cheez-Its and wine were kind of like my jam, and like that's not a good thing. And so I have to get back to where I was, and so I'm so inspired, like I'm so motivated now because of you.
You can get back on track with me.
I feel like it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to go with you.
Good,
I mean,
good.
I gained some, but I want to lose more. So.
Well, I'm so happy and it was very fitting for you to be my very first guest on the show because it's like there's a message there because you were the first person I called and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell Jody because this is I felt like I knew, okay, this is it. I'm about to go through a really major change.
I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for so many different reasons.
I know.
I'm excited for this show. I'm excited for you that you've you've found something in yourself and you're going to be sharing it with the world and you have a story to tell.
But I mean, hopefully when this pandemic is over, we could do this in person too.
Yeah, I would love to.
We could travel and do it.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, because we're eventually going to have to cover eating out.
Ooh, we could totally do that. We could work our way through Buckhead.
No, we could work our way through Europe. All right, my love. Well, thank you for being here.
Yay. All right. Mwah.
Mwah. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Guess what time it is? It's time to cook. When you see this bandana come out, that means Tammy's about to cook, about to throw down, about to get busy in the kitchen. Okay, we're back. Wait, was there a commercial? Too soon? Okay, so first thing I wanted to make for you is a snack because snacks are key. I'm a big snacker, and of course, clearly I'm not always a healthy snacker. And healthy snacks are very key, especially when you're going to be doing bariatric surgery for not only pre-op, not only for post-op, but for pre-op as well. And just so you know, I love hummus. I love anything having to do with hummus, but I also OD on hummus and get super sick of it, and I go through phases. And I also just in general love chickpeas. And so this is a really, really simple recipe. It's so easy. It's such an easy, quick go-to thing to have. Everyone has the ingredients in their house probably most of the time. You can buy things like this pre-packaged, but I like to stay away from packaged foods as much as possible. Again, the chemicals and stuff that they put in them, and a lot of times they're not good oils, like palm oil and stuff that you really shouldn't be putting in your body. So I like to make them, and I'm going to make you some really yummy, spicy chickpeas. So the first thing you want to do is open 2 cans of chickpeas, just normal cans of chickpeas. You can get the reduced sodium kind, you can get the larger cans, but this calls for 2 15-ounce cans of chickpeas. Throw them in a strainer and rinse them really well. So here I have them, obviously I rinsed them, but now the key is you have to let them dry. So you put them, I basically take a flour sack towel. I have lots of flour sack towels in my house because we use them for all kinds of things. And you just want to get them nice and dry. So I basically take them and like roll them a little bit. You want to be gentle. Don't overhandle your chickpeas. But you just want to get them nice and dry. And actually, what I'll do is I'll just leave them here. You want to get them nice and flat. Oh, we lost a chickpea. And let them dry, maybe for like 10-15 minutes, just to get the extra moisture off, because if you don't, then the oil won't stick to them, okay? So we're gonna leave that there for a second. So while they dry, let's do the spices, okay? Okay, first we're gonna use 2 tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and you wanna use really good olive oil. You don't wanna skimp on your olive oil. Then we have 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and I love smoked paprika. I could put that literally in anything. I love it. And a little bit of cayenne. Now, if you like them spicy, you could add more cayenne. I don't really like them to be that spicy. I mean, sometimes, but you can also, just dial it back as you want. And you could basically put anything in these. So you could zhuzh it up with you could zhuzh it up with garlic powder. You could put all kinds of stuff in here, but these are the ones that I like. So then you want to add like just a little bit of salt, like the equivalent of like a pinch of salt. And it calls for kosher salt, but I like to just use nice sea salt. And then I like to just take a little whisk it all together. That's why I was holding that whisk the whole time, because I knew I was going to use her, right? Get it nice and just mixed up. Okay, so now we have our coating already ready to go. And now, if we've waited long enough, our chickpeas should be nice and dry, right? Sometimes I give them a little roll. You gotta make sure you pick up all the corners. You'll have chickpeas everywhere. So I'm gonna give them a little pat, a little love. And then you wanna empty them into your bowl, nice and simple, okay? And then just give them a nice coat, really easy. Little baby chickpeas, I love you. I love chickpeas. In fact, I love chickpeas so much, and I will give you a little fun fact. Chickpeas are quite the little helper when it comes to if you're having problems in the bathroom. So just a little helpful hint. I know that might be TMI, but they are really, really good, full of fiber, so good for you. And just be prepared. It's gonna be a little trip to Fartville when you eat these. Okay, so now that they're all mixed, all you got to do is take a couple of sheet pans. Well, for me, I have to do a couple of sheet pans because I have a small oven. So I had to get these adorable little sort of smaller cookie sheets. But if you have those nice big cookie sheets, 1 cookie sheet in general probably will handle this. But the key is you don't want to crowd these, because if you put things too close together, you may have experienced this before, but they don't get crispy. They basically steam if they're too close together. So you want to just divide it up nice and even. That should be pretty good, right? And give them a nice spread. The little love nuggets. Love nugget chickpeas. I love these. They're so yummy. Okay, so give them a little shake. Make sure they're nice and flat and even. And then you stick them in the oven for like 20 to 25 minutes, 400-degree oven, and they get nice and crispy. And I usually, check them after about 10-15 minutes and make sure, because obviously you don't want to overcook them, but you want to make sure that you get them nice and crispy because they're just delicious out of the oven like that. Okay, it's time for our snack. It's been about 20-25 minutes, okay? Look, oh, so nice. You can hear them kind of like sizzling a little bit. That way you know they're really good. Okay, you need to let them cool for about 10-15 minutes, otherwise you'll burn your mouth up, and I know because I've tried. And then they'll be ready for your snack. Okay, so they're cool enough, okay? My pan's still a little bit hot, so I'm gonna use that. And then I use these little bowls, okay? Whoops, we have some runaways. I like these little bowls. You can get them anywhere. They're little snack bowls, and or they're used for condiments and all kinds of stuff. I like them because it's portion control. So they're right next to my computer. You don't have to get your fingers dirty. And watch this. A couple at a time. They're nice and warm. They're so good. And honestly, if I eat a little bit of these, about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm good till dinner time. And they're so yummy and so good for you. Okay, one more thing. For the first episode, I thought it'd be appropriate to have a bonus snack, especially because some of you might not have time to do that chickpea snack. And if you're bored of hummus like I get, this is a really good alternative. If you have not seen this product yet, and a lot of the different hummus companies have it, but this is the Sabra dark chocolate hummus. And when I first saw it, I was really grossed out at first because I thought, how is that even possible? And then I tried it and it's so good. And these animal crackers, when I was a Weight Watcher, animal crackers are they're already fat-free. And you can eat actually about 15, 16 of these before they really start adding up. So if you just take a couple of them, right? And this dark chocolate hummus, it's so good. It basically tastes like brownie batter and it's chickpeas. And it is delicious and a really filling snack, and you get your like sweet fix. You get like a little, sweet tooth fix all at the same time. So that's it for my very first show. I am so excited to have you here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you watching. It's gonna be a really fun ride. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. It's gonna be a wild ride. It's gonna be all of those things. And I'm just really glad and grateful that you're watching. And I just wanna fill you in on a couple of things. So basically, I'm gonna be cooking something every episode. And if you have a recipe that you really love, if you were a bariatric patient or are getting ready for bariatric surgery, or a Weight Watcher, or just a dieter of any kind, and you have a really delicious recipe that you want to share, I'd love to have you on the show. So below in the description is the email address, and you can email in and we'll reach out to you. And I'd really love to have you. We can FaceTime with you for now during the pandemic, and we can have you be a part of the show, or whatever. If you don't want to be on the show, that's okay too, but feel free to send me tips and ideas, and I will talk about them and go over them, and we're really excited to be doing this together.